Your fluency for Tuesday, it says that Ellen jogs 5 4/10 miles each day. In the month of July, she jogged 26 days. How far did Ellen jog in the month of July? So we're looking for how many miles she jogged in a month. And if she's jogged for 26 days, and on each one of those 26 days, she did 5 4/10 mile, we have to look at here and think, okay, well, if I were in Ellen's shoes and I were jogging 5.4 miles each day, so Monday I did 5.4, Tuesday I did 5.4, Wednesday I did 5.4, Thursday I did 5.4, and I kept going for 26 days, I would be adding 5.4 26 times. That's a lot of times we have to do that. So that's when multiplication comes into play. Because if you're doing repeated addition and you're adding over the same number over and over and over and over again, you can multiply that number by how many times you have to add it. So for in this case, we would have to add 5.4 or 5 4/10 26 times. So instead, we're just going to sit here and we are going to multiply 5 4/10 times 26. Now remember what I told you. If you are sitting here multiplying two numbers, the first thing you want to do is count the numbers that are behind the decimal points in both numbers. So in 5.4 there's one number. In 26 there's no numbers. So that means, remember that green circle that we had in fluency yesterday? That means that we are going to have only one number after we're only moving that decimal point one time. So I put my 1 in that circle because that's going to tell me that's how many times I move that decimal point. Now I write the problem as if I don't have any decimal points. So I'm just doing whole numbers now. So I would do 5, 4, and then underneath it I would do 2, on, it's being, there we go, 2, 6. Okay, and then I'll put my line down so I can begin to multiply. And I know I'm multiplying. Okay, so now I start. If you need multiplication chart, your multiplication facts are on your red X. So you have 6 times 4, 24. So I put my 4 below and my 2 above the 5. So now I have to do 6 times 5, which is 30, and then I have to add that 2 that I brought up, so that'd be 30 plus 2 would be 32. And now that I have 32 there, that 6 is no longer being multiplied. So I'm going to drag my X because another number means that we are going to have another row, which another row means we have to add a 0. So I add a 0 below because I have to stay in line with my place value of where I'm at. So I have a place value in the 2's where the 2 is, which is technically in the tens place value. And then we have to begin by multiplying as if it was 54 times 2. So we're doing 2 times 4, which is 8. And then we're doing 2 times 5, which is 10. And you line up your digits based off their place value. Okay, so now once you've done that, you now begin to add those two numbers up. So we do 4 plus 0, 4. 8 plus 2 is 10. Bring up the 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 0 is 4. And then 1 plus 0, because there's an invisible 0 there, would be 1. Now we have to remember that number in our green circle, which is 1. So that tells us that we have to put our decimal point as if it was a whole number and move it 1 time. So we swoop 1 and our decimal point goes in between the 0 and the 4. So now our new answer, and I'll move over the 4 a little bit so you can see, our new answer is 140 and 4/10. So Ellen jogged 140 and 4/10 mile in July. Okay, so that's how you do multiplication of decimals.